Hey everyone, 2 trailers dropped for House of the Dragon Season 2, one for Team Black and one for Team Green. Instead of analysing the individual trailers, I'm going to split things up by location, starting with King's Landing. This breakdown will contain book spoilers and some behind the scenes leaks. So yeah, let's jump into it. In King's Landing we see Alicent surrounded by candles. She's probably in the Sept, perhaps grieving Vizzy T himself. This scene could mirror the scene in Season 1 when she prays with Rhaenyra after her mother dies. We also see her talking to Larys, who's gripping his cane, so their little relationship will continue. Her more striking moment in this trailer is when she dips under the water of her bath. This could be Alicent trying to unalive herself, perhaps after Blood and Cheese, or perhaps as a response to a war she feels responsible for. It could also be a symbolic rebirth moment where she breaks out of her depressed reticence and embraces her role as the political schemer of the book. In the small council we see Alicent serving as Queen Mother and presumably an advisor, Sir Criston Cole, who is now Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, Sir Otto Hightower, currently the Hand of the King, at least at the start of the season, Grand Maester Orwyle, and Tyland Lannister, although Tyland is now sitting in Lyman Beesbury's place, signifying his new position as Master of Coin. I also wonder whether he'll remain as the Master of Ships. I don't think Team Green officially had a Master of Ships written down in Fire and Blood. Jasper Ironrod Wild, the Master of Laws, is probably hidden somewhere behind Orwyle. Aemond also appears to be on the council, probably advising his brother. He foreshadows his future battle with Daemon by talking shit about him to Criston. The Golden Dragon on green. The gold represents Aegon's dragon Sunfire, who we see in the Dragon Pit, and the green represents the Hightower war colours and the name of their faction. This is different from the gold dragon on black of the book. Aegon also has gold dragons rampant on his new outfit. While walking into the throne room, he's flanked by his new squad, who we've seen before in behind-the-scenes photos. To our left we have Martin Rain, who's representing the Westerlands. To our right we have Leon Estamont, who's representing the Stormlands. And in the back, we have someone who's going to be called Eddard Waters, who potentially might be Vaemond Valarian's bastard son, who is claiming Driftmark for himself, and filling the role of the Silent Five from the book. Despite looking confident in the council and the throne room, Aegon is already getting burnout after one day in office. He could be considering abdication or surrender in this scene, which might lead us to getting the Criston Kingmaker moment we wanted so much from Season 1. In this shot, we see someone tapping a coin purse against a gate while a gold cloak looks on. This could be Mysaria or even Daemon bribing their way into the city to scheme. Or perhaps the gold cloak is Blood himself, receiving advanced payment for his future assassination of Jaehaerys. Blood is an ex-gold cloak in the book, but in the show they might make him a member of the City Watch still, to simplify things. Speaking of which, we see a small man with a torch and a larger man holding some kind of flail. Walking through some tunnels, this has to be Blood and Cheese. Is that a flail? I'm not sure, but I'm guessing that'll be his murder weapon in the show instead of the sword he uses in the book. God, the crime scene's going to be even more messy than I expected. Speaking of messy, we see a maid holding a bloody rag, which is probably from the aftermath of the murder. It might be the opening of the next episode. We've got some mourning commoners here and a funeral procession. Alicent and Helena wearing black veils on a carriage. This is obviously Jaehaerys' funeral. So here's an interesting shot. We've got Aegon in a cell, standing in front of Larys, swinging a mace at something or someone. This could easily be the torture of Blood, or perhaps the torture of a random rat catcher. After all, I think it was Aegon ordered all the rat catchers of the city to be captured and interrogated and hanged. It could also just be Aegon flat out executing Blood and getting revenge for the death of his son. In this shot, Aegon is wearing all black and he looks depressed, so he could be in mourning. This could be post-funeral. Otto is walking away behind him, perhaps after being fired. Again. So yeah, this could be just before Criston Cole is appointed the new Hand of the King. Aegon is ready to do battle. He's holding an awesome helmet with a conqueror's crown on top of it, and he's fitted out in armour. He must be preparing for the Battle of Rook's Rest. He appears to be talking to Larys in this scene, so they're sowing the seed for a relationship that will inevitably lead to Larys smuggling Aegon out of King's Landing. My boy Larry is really ingratiating himself with every Hightower he can find. Speaking of war, giant scorpion bolts are on the walls of King's Landing in anticipation of dragon attacks, as Sir Arryk Cargill watches on. I'm not sure why Qyburn acted like he invented these, but there you go. Over to Dragonstone now. We've got Rhaenyra watching a cremation, probably the funeral of her son Lucerys. They're probably burning the remains of his body, but they might also be burning the remains of Arrax's body if that's all they could find. She's standing with Jace and Joffrey, which matches up to this recent promo picture. Jace being here means he's already back from Winterfell and has already brought both Lady Arryn and Lord Stark to their cause. Rhaena and Baelor are also at the funeral, as are Corlys and Rhaenys. Speaking of Corlys, my god does he have drip this season. George R.R. Martin apparently wanted more colourful clothing and heraldry in House of the Dragon, and boy are they delivering. I love this outfit so much. Ah, a nice Dragonstone dinner. I wonder if they're using that new A Song of Ice and Fire cookbook. This may be our first official look at the dragon seeds. Adam of Hull to the left, Hugh Hammer to the right, and presumably Ulf opposite Rhaenyra, because we know Nettles unfortunately won't be in this season. I mean, she may have been cut completely, we don't really know yet. In the book, he's called Ulf the White and Ulf the Sot, but here they've given him dark hair, so they're probably going to stick with just Ulf the Sot, because he's a drunkard. We also see Sir Laurent Marbrand of the Queen's Guard in the background, and in another shot we see Sir Steffon Darklyn. It's cool to get more King's Guard in the background of scenes beyond just the main ones. Like in the original Game of Thrones show, there were just all these nameless, faceless Kingsguard, but here we've got Kristen Cole, two Cargill twins, Steffon Darklyn, Laurent Marbrand. Harold Westling, what's he up to? Speaking of the Cargills, Cargill Bowl get hype. Here we have Rhaenyra looking over the narrow sea. The woman in white next to her is probably Mysaria. I was wondering whether Mysaria would be scarred and burned from the failed fiery assassination attempt against her in Season 1, but based on this new promo picture, that's not the case. Let's hope her accent is, less goofy this season. We see some dragons too. Rhaenyra, surrounded by dragon keepers, heading towards Syrax and later flying Syrax. In the book, of course, she stays in Dragonstone for most of the war, so it looks like she's stretching her legs a bit. Or wings, I guess. We haven't seen her in any battle scenario yet, so she's probably still avoiding those. Oh, and here's Seasmoke, as confirmed by Ryan Condal, ready to be tamed by Adam of Hull, and perhaps some less successful Dragonseed participants. Over to the Riverlands now, we see quite a bit of Harrenhal. Daemon wearing armour in Harrenhal, Daemon flying Caraxes above Harrenhal, Daemon in pyjamas going to the Harrenhal kitchen to grab a glass of milk. Daemon threatening people on top of Caraxes could be the taking of Harrenhal, where the strong garrison surrender, or it could be related to the burning of Stonehenge and the Brackens. When Daemon enters this hall, we see someone who might be Sir Simon Strong in the background, played by Simon Russell Beale. Okay, that might be a bit of a stretch. There's a shot of Aemond walking in some gloomy place in front of a mural that appears to depict a burning castle. Is Aemond in Harrenhal, or is this a mural about Harrenhal in King's Landing? Aemond does go to Harrenhal, of course, in the book, but that's while Rhaenyra is taking King's Landing behind his back, which we probably won't see this season because that takes place after the Battle of the Gullet, and the Battle of the Gullet has allegedly been pushed back to Season 3. We've got 8 episodes this season, not 10, so I guess the Gullet battle was supposed to be 9 and 10 and now it's been pushed back. Harrenhal in the distance looks awesome, like melting candles. Syrax and Rhaenyra fly over the God's Eye Lake towards it. I'm guessing this is the mysterious Isle of Faces, that's pretty cool. Rhaenyra doesn't meet with Daemon in Harrenhal in the book, so it'll be interesting to see what she's up to. Outside of Harrenhal, of course, we've got Daemon looking over a Team Black war camp, the same camp we see in that original teaser trailer. We also meet a based Bracken lass, sporting the red stallion itself, facing off against 4 boys wearing the red and black colours of her rivals, House Blackwood. This could be the prelude to the burning of Stonehenge, a way to show that the Riverlands are in no way united behind Rhaenyra. This lass could be a new character, or perhaps a gender-swapped version of Sir Amos Bracken, or the Bracken bastard Sir Rhaelon Rivers, although considering she's wearing the Bracken sigil, she's probably not a bastard actually. Now these Blackwoods look too young for any of them to be a grown-up version of Willem Bracken from Season 1, who was a show-only character, but one of them may be Lord Samwell Blackwood, or his son Benjicott Blackwood, who goes on to become Bloody Ben, or perhaps even Red Rob Rivers, the Blackwood bastard archer. Time to take a trip to the Crownlands. On the ground we see Sir Criston Cole riding into battle, wearing his Hand of the King necklace. In this shot he may be riding alongside Sir Gawain Hightower, Otto's youngest son, who we also see wearing a helmet. Sir Gawain had a cheeky cameo in Season 1, being wrecked by Daemon in the tourney, but we never saw his face. In the book he's an officer of the City Watch, but here it looks like he's taking the role of a Hightower army commander, I guess. This shot of Criston wiping his blade seems to be set in the same area as that part from the previous teaser where he's beheading someone, perhaps Lord Darklyn or Lord Staunton. In the air, we see the pale green Moondancer being ridden by Baelor. We saw her screaming in the previous teaser, so perhaps she witnesses her grandmother fighting Aegon and Aemond from afar. Oh, and of course we see Granny Vhagar herself. Now for the miscellaneous shots. We've got Syrax screaming on the beach with Storm's End in the background. Rhaenyra appears to be on the sand next to something. The body of Lucerys or Arax, I'd guess. Here we see a large army marching towards a castle. This looks very similar to some behind the scenes pictures of the Lannisters joining up with the Leffords, their vassals. Which means this must be the Golden Tooth, through which Lord Jason Lannister will try to enter the Riverlands. All the battle scenes appear to be in the Crownlands so far, so I wonder if we'll see any major Riverlands battles like the Battle of the Green Fork or the infamous Fish Feed. Finally, we get some sneak peeks of the north. The same shot of men on horseback from the original teaser, riding through the snowy forest. They could be northerners, they could be brothers of the Night's Watch. This time we get an actual shot atop the wall itself. Jacaerys, looking like Book Jon Snow, walks alongside Lord Cregan Stark. This is our first view of Cregan Stark, played by Tom Taylor, and not a 40-year-old man like in all the artwork. He's got ice on his back, which is a nice touch. So there we have it, a more casual video from me. Like and subscribe if you're interested in more House of the Dragon and A Song of Ice and Fire content. You can support the channel by checking out the Patreon and the merchandise page. Links are in the description below. To check out the real Sand Snakes, click here. Special thanks to my Lord of Light patrons, Alex the Pagan, Andre, Caden, Colshot and Devcole. Thanks for watching.